Backstage, Rockin' the Range 2018. I'm Lou Brutus. Spencer from Underoath joins me.
Yo, what's
Great
up,
to
man?
see you. How you
Hey,
been?
man. Good. Thanks for having me, dude.
Well, you know, I think any band that's been around for a couple of years has highs and they have lows, but I think for you guys, you are at an especially good time in the timeline for this band.
Yeah, I think it's good. We definitely had our low, which was a couple years ago when we broke up, and took some time away from it, thinking we'd never do it again. And we did a reunion tour, which turned into, a world tour, and we started writing and made a record. Long story short, here we are at Rock on the Range.
Was it a case of most everybody liked one another, but you're cooped up in a bus all the time and you just started to drive one another nuts and needed some alone time?
I don't know, man. I think being a teenager going on tour and not really stopping, for 10 years is it's tough for anybody. Like, it's hard to grow up because, you're supposed to kind of always be the same. Like, you start a band, you eat the same stuff, you listen to the same stuff, you're in a van, goes to a bus, and, the people start to grow up and kind of become individuals. And I think that's the growing pains are real. Like, people start to feel like, oh, I'm on the outside, or that guy's on the outside now. And a lot of internal problems. People don't really communicate, and I just think we just kept making our box smaller and smaller on ourselves, both musically and just friendship-wise, and it just kind of had to fall apart at some point.
I hear that word a lot when I talk to people about what they do and how you survive and last and thrive out here. The word that comes up a lot is communication. In that way, I think it's a lot like a romantic involvement.
I agree 100%. It's all about communication. I think at one point our band also had a Christian background to it as well. Yeah. We were a Christian band. So in that way, as you're growing up and becoming a man and experiencing different things in life, you have this also extra layer of pressure of things that you can't talk about. Because it's like, oh, if you bring this up, well, you might not be a Christian, and now we have to break up or go home. Like, there was so much extra stuff on top of just being a band, which is like you can compare it to being in a romantic relationship. Yeah. Now add 5 more people to it. Now add a religion on top of it. There was no room to really breathe in there, and I feel like we had to kind of take those layers away and allow people to be who they were. And, everyone's entitled to be exactly who they want to be and experience life how they are. You get one chance at this. You might as well do what makes sense for you. And I think when we can accept that for each other, the band could, thrive and get back together and make music and be healthy and be happy,
Spencer, if you would, give me an example of some of the stuff with the Christian connotations to it that you had to deal with in terms of any band is going to have a level of scrutiny and internet people complaining, but then when you add the religious aspect to it, that's got to be a whole nother level of stuff.
I think it was. I think there was extra pressure there, and especially for me, like, there was some articles and press, and our band had kind of gone home from a tour before because I was dealing with some drug issues and substance abuse stuff, and that community was very hard on me as far as turning their backs on me for that. And but that's all in the past. Now we've not been a Christian band since like 2010, so it's been a lot easier for us to communicate with each other, and even down to the music. Writing the music is a little bit easier to be completely honest and say what's on your mind and on your heart for real, because you don't have to worry about keeping up that.
You mentioned your sobriety. Was there a point, like a defining moment, where you thought, I've just got to stop this?
I think for me, it was a lot worse before I made that decision. And as I got older and toured more, I was even doing it less and less and using drugs less and drinking probably less than I was years before. But it was the fact that I think that I realized at one point in my life that I was making excuses. Like, doing something once a month or once a week or however often you're doing it, you're still making that excuse. It's like when you're doing stuff every day or all day long, you're so in it, you don't, you're lucky if you get out of it. But once you get to a point to where you're like, yeah, I'm fine, I got this under control, and I can just take it and leave it. And I think that is when I was like, oh shit, like, that's bad. Like, and I was really bad. I can't even believe that I got to this point to where I'm making these excuses like, oh, I got through the bad parts, but now I'm still just dabbling. And that's when I hit a wall, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to see what it's like to go a week without it. And now it's been, for the most part, a year and a half. So
I've found, and I never went to a program or specifically stopped, but I think for me, it's been like at least a year and a half since I had a drop of alcohol, and I just don't miss waking up in the morning and feeling bad.
Yeah, feeling like crap.
Physically just feeling like crap.
Yeah, that's a huge thing on tour as well. I still drink, but I stopped using drugs, and even that, it's like I don't drink that much,
Yeah.
But like my life definitely changed. Like, but I also involved things in my life that made it easier to not want to feel bad, like taking like my health and what I eat and working out every morning and making sure that like I'm, if you're hungover and you miss that, it's a whole other thing of guilt, let alone the guilt on using or getting messed up or whatever, like being hungover, that that you already have that guilt. But now if you miss your morning ritual, which of like waking up early and working out and feeling active, like then you hate yourself even more. So it's been easier for me because I've kind of almost replaced those addictions with other addictions that are just healthier, because I don't know if there's really a cure for addiction. I just think you have to change how you run your life, and you fall
How
in
you
love
fill your time.
Yeah, like I'm like addicted to like a good night's sleep now, like, which I used to miss all the time. 15 years, 12 years, I would never really get a solid night's sleep because I was always so fucked up, and like that's really important to me now. Like, and I'm like into a nice bed and nice sheets, and like I'm into nice food and like feeling really good, like waking up and feeling good and working out and getting that release. Like I would get on stage that I couldn't get at home without using drugs. In the past, like I'd go off tour and use more drugs at home because I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of, like, it's no excitement. And now I get the same kind of endorphin rush, just loud music in your ears, you crank it up, you're sweating, it's not really a cure, it's just different lifestyle,
If there's anything you take away from this conversation so far, let it be this: life is better when you don't have a headache all of the time.
Very true.
How does this affect your life as a musician now?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I feel like I play better. I know for sure I sing better. If you listen to Underoath's catalog, you can hear progression in my voice, and I think everyone. And also, I think when you're using drugs, I think you feel like you're just hurting yourself, and that's kind of what we do. People that are depressed or they go inwards, and they're those types of human beings, which is the kind of person I was. But it does, you feeling like crap and kind of having that hangover and your attitude, and like it starts to affect the whole band. And I think the band plays better and we write better, and because we're getting along more, because I'm not, not that I was the only problem, but that was a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, even though I thought it was just my problem, you've got to consider everyone involved.
Domino effect.
Yeah, because it is a family in that way. It's like you say, like a romantic relationship, or like your wife. If you're using all the time and your wife is sober, it's gonna wear on her. Like, oh, I'm just hurting myself, but not really, man. Now you're starting to hurt other people around you because, you might be short, you might be crabby, or you're always just sleeping, or you're just, or you're messed up.
Or she's asleep and you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. There you go. So.
The Erase Me has been out for a couple of months now, and I think
about a month.
People have had a little bit of time to let it gel and sink in. What kind of reactions are you getting back?
It's great. I think, I think with everything, no matter what you do, you're going to have love and hate in music. It's everyone's entitled to their opinion. But
angry internet guy.
Oh, there's always angry internet guy.
Okay.
That guy will be mad if you put out the same record twice, and if you change a record, or if you progress, or if you get smaller, if you get bigger. He's always mad.
I say that all the time. It's like, if you make the same record over and over again, it's the same shit over and over again. You do something different. Doesn't sound like the old stuff. They suck now.
Yeah.
It's just stop.
You get bigger. Oh, they sold out. They're bigger. You get smaller.
Sell
they're
outs.
done. Yeah, it's all that stuff is what it is. But what it's really beautiful to me is seeing, like, we open with a new song on this tour. We're on tour right now. We're not just doing these festivals. We're on like a full tour, and to see the reaction and to hear them sing a song that's that new as loud as they sing a song that's 14 years old is where, and that makes you feel really good, man. I feel like that's where it's all at. Like, the reaction live is incredible.
And that's what I meant at the beginning. I mean, I think things are probably more, or at least as exciting now than at any other time in the career of this band.
Absolutely. For us being in the band, and we got a second chance, and that doesn't happen. And I think we can also view that a lot better than we would if we wouldn't have broken up, or we wouldn't have like kind of crumbled in the public eye, which is kind of embarrassing to crumble in the public eye, but we did, and it's part of our past, it's part of our story. But now, we don't take advantage of these things, and and even that's even going back to the like being off drugs thing is like I enjoy things a lot more. Like at the festival today, I'm looking forward to not only playing but going around and watching other bands and like hearing music, like just being a part of it. And I think our band's really kind of enjoying the second lease on life, as cheesy as that sounds.
That was a really good point that you raised, because sometimes it's easy to get jaded by all this stuff, and certainly, there's a lot of hard knocks that can come along, but it's always great when a band, and I've seen it happen many, many times, where a band rediscovers why they go through all of this horse shit in the first place,
exactly.
And they find that love of why they do it,
Well, and I think, like when we made this record, no one knew we were making a record.
Yeah.
So
no pressure.
It kind of reminded me of when we made our first record, when no one cared about our band.
Yeah.
We did something that excited us. And then you have to do it again, and you have to do it again because things are going well, and you have a schedule kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is the first time since my first record with the band that I had that excitement again, because it was like, we're just doing this for us at this point, because no one knows we're making it, and we're making things that we really want to hear. And we took the like, who cares if it doesn't sound like Underoath or this or that? Like, let's make something that when we push play makes us excited. And that's how you address music when you were a kid, when you were in a local band, when you were in a garage band, when you were recording your first record. And those are things we haven't been able to have back until now. And it's exciting, man. It's like a whole second book, I guess.
Quick aside, since, getting back to music, the stuff that excited you as a kid, tell me about stuff that you would love to cover that you think Underoath would do a great job with and that would mean something to you.
I don't know. I just covered Heart-Shaped Box on Sirius Acoustic, which was sick. I would love to do it as a full band. I'm a huge Nirvana fan, though. I'm a big Nirvana guy, so that's maybe something that we could do in the future. We'll see.
Well, listen, I appreciate all the time here at Rock on the Range. I meant what I said. I'm just very excited. I'm very happy for you guys.
Dude, thank you, man.
Good to see you out and about, and stay healthy. Take care of yourself.
Thanks. You too, man. Hey, man.
Spencer from Underoath. It's Lou Brutus backstage, Rock on the Range 2018.